Hey guys, I am live. How are you today? Anybody out there? Today I want to talk about beliefs um, and how they affect your lives. They're extremely powerful. Our belief system is really everything. Our belief system, what we see in life, what we see in our experience, what we experience is based on our belief system. I've always thought it was kind of interesting and funny um, where you'd hear stories many times, many anecdotes of people, um, observing some event like a car crash or something, a car crash or some event where a lot of people will view it at the same time. But yet everybody has a slightly different version of it. Everybody sees it differently. Why is that? Why is that? Well, it's not that one person sees it and the other people are wrong, or you know I see something and everybody else is wrong. It's everybody's right. Everybody's right. The same thing is true when you um, have a disagreement with somebody, or you're talking to somebody and you agree on something, and you're going to do certain actions, and you guys have come to an agreement and something's going to be done. But yet later on, perhaps the other person thinks that wasn't done and the other person thinks it was. Again, it was how, neither person is wrong. Both people are correct. They're correct in that they see it the way they see it based on their beliefs and their thought systems, their belief systems. So, um, when I was a kid, and actually throughout, even it was reinforced even throughout my teens and into my adult life, is the belief that what we uh, see is real, or to see something is to believe it. So, meaning that you only believe it if you actually see some physical result manifested in our existence, and that's just a belief system that's limiting. And what that does is actually it limits everybody who believes this, or everybody's learned it, because it limits them into um, to not really seeing all the different options, or really seeing something as it is. Um, because what we do is our beliefs are just repetitive thoughts that we've had over and over and over and over again. And we've just reinforced them, or they've been reinforced throughout our lifetime, through our educational system, through our parents, through our own experiences. And they become beliefs, which are these thoughts. And essentially they're habits. And they've actually physically, it's been proven that a habit, well, there are habit centers in the brain which actually allow us to create habits which are very important in our lives. But also with the beliefs, what it does is it just reinforces those thoughts, whatever they were. And those thoughts were probably created way back when you first were born, or throughout your existence, but you hold on to them throughout your life, that belief system. And it's it was maybe true when you first started the thought, but if you're holding on to that thought, or now that belief system, then you're not seeing what's real, what's real, the possibilities in life. So it's really important to understand what beliefs are, how they're created, and and then start to learn to question things, question reality, question what you see. Um, for instance, like I was looking at this pencil, and I was trying to think about a good way to talk about this. And so this is a pencil. We all kind of would probably agree on it because we've all used it. We've all been taught the name of it. We've all been taught the use for it, and we've used it for that particular use. But what if you throw away that belief system, that belief for a while? What do you throw away that thought that it's no longer a pencil? What is it? Can you look at it and just observe it for what it is? Can you throw away the idea that it's a pencil? What else could it be? And I was thinking, well, all right, so if I were someone who'd never seen this before in my life, and maybe I have an agricultural background, maybe I farm for a living, and I don't know how to write. I've never learned a written language for some reason. And looking at this, what could I use this for? Well, I could use it to, punch holes into the ground to plant my seeds, perhaps. Or say I come from a background where I'm a warrior in society. I defend the society. I protect people. Well, I could just think of this as it's a weapon. It's a great weapon. You can poke someone. You could hurt someone with it. Um, Maybe I am an artist. Artists. My God, an artist. Everybody's really an artist, but we designate ourselves to certain pigeonholes in life where we feel like we kind of fit. But everybody's an artist. So, what about this could I use to create beauty? How could I use this to create beauty? How could I use it as an engineer to build something? It's not just a pencil. It's only a pencil if we limit ourselves in believing that it's only a pencil. And that's just a really simple example of how that works. So I've been re-educating myself, retraining myself into changing my belief system, into getting out of those limiting beliefs. And so if we apply these limiting beliefs to an object like a pencil, don't you think we do the same thing to our lives, to us, to ourselves? We constantly limit ourselves in what we can do and what we can achieve because we're very much very much live based on a feedback mechanism of what we see around us, what we observe in our environment, whatever environment we're exposed to, is what we believe is possible, and that limits us. So, excuse me. If you think of any invention in life, like, okay, 100 years ago, maybe 200 years ago, before well, actually, no, not even that. Let's bring it more contemporary. Well, 100 years ago, do you think that someone would think that you could talk into your phone or you could see visualizations of someone on your phone thousands of miles away? Or you could, pull up an app and look at the weather and be able to predict the weather. Oh my God, if I could predict the weather, I could, it would be amazing. That was once not in existence. Think about that. How did it become in existence? If the people who never came up with this idea just allowed themselves to see what was around them and say, okay, this is it. Instead of dreaming, believing, feeling like something else is out there. So this was once just a thought. This was just a thought that someone or a bunch of people created in their minds for this to come in existence. So they believed it, and then they created it, and then we see it. Versus, I can see one of these things, and then I believe in it. That's so limiting. Thought, imagination, creation, creating, we are creators, comes from us believing first in whatever we believe we see in our environment. And that's really how it works. And there are so many examples of this around us, of people who are successful in business and athletes, whoever you might look up to and what you want to accomplish in life. tons of examples of people who are successful, and that's how they do it. They have such a strong, especially people who have come from like nothing, like they've been very in poverty and they've been surrounded by very difficult situations. How did they get from there to extremely successful and doing amazing things in their lives? If you study them, the majority of them indicate that they had this strong belief, this desire, this that they would do something else. They would be this. They would be, they would be the top in this. And that belief drove them. It drove them to change how they looked around things. It drove them to draw in possibilities because they changed their vibrational energy level, essentially, because we're all vibrational beings. We are all, that's really what we are. Because we changed our vibrational energy level, they allowed those good things to come in, and then it just manifested and manifested and manifested. And as they believed, they started to observe, and as they observed, they believed more and more and more, and they'll just kind of bring them up, and that's how that works. So I just want to talk about that, and then a way to an undisciplined mind really accomplishes nothing. And I've been in that state, and sometimes I still am in that state, especially when I'm like, in a state of depression or anxiety or fear. So in order to accomplish something, whatever you want in your life, for one thing, you have to set a goal. And it can be difficult to set a goal sometimes because then you have to believe that you can get to that goal. So what I've found myself in the past doing is it would be too painful for me to set a goal that was far out, something that I really wanted, but I couldn't set a goal. I couldn't set a direction because I couldn't believe that I could ever get there. And it was too painful for me to have this goal, but believe I could never get there. This gap would never close for me. So the one thing when you set a goal is you have to have belief that you can get there. And so what I encourage people to do, and what I've done, is instead of setting a really, really far goal first, something way, 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 way out there that you have, you couldn't, it's like, oh, I'm never going to get there. You set something that's a little closer, something that's more believable, something that's more plausible, something that you can think you can get to. Still should be out there a little ways, but there's a possibility. It gives you some drive, and it gives you a reason to kind of keep going, and because you think you're almost kind of get there. And then once you get there, then you can set another goal, and then kind of do the same types of steps, and then set another goal. And incrementally, you're able to change your life considerably that way. And then you get to a point where you'll start to believe that these farther off goals are possible because you were able to get these other little goals. And that's one way of really changing your belief system, is by experiencing things and reinforcing it. The other way which is actually really much more powerful and more difficult, is just to feel and believe that your goal will be accomplished. Totally feel and believe and imagine, picture yourself in the state of that goal being accomplished. And as you picture yourself in that state, feel what it feels like. Feel those good feelings that you're going to feel when you get to that state. And if you can't do that, then just feel good about whatever's going on around you, whatever you're happy about now. whatever it may be, whatever, happy things are going on in your life. And those happy feelings will bring other good, happy stuff in for you. And that's the law of attraction. Um, and it is a physical law. The other thing I was thinking about, another example, is how our past experiences, our past education can, I would say, taint our current experience. Is I was thinking about my propensity to, really, really love the daylight, the sunshine, and nice blue skies, and it really invigorates me and gets me going and makes me motivated. But yet, on days that are cloudy and kind of rainy and cold and cool, or I kind of like my energy kind of comes down and I'm not too excited about it. And I kind of like, oh, and I use these words about, oh, it's like, oh, it's a crappy day today. Oh, geez, what am I going to do? Oh my God, I have to go outside. It's all wet. And that's just a belief system. That's just a belief system. The clouds, nature, there's beauty in rain, there's beauty in clouds, there's beauty in everything. And I kind of attribute that, I was just thinking about it today, to my father. Um, and I kind of hear the words in my mind. And when I see him, he reinforces it even more because he has this belief that, it's a crappy day, so I got to do inside stuff today. And, and, and I, thinking back as a child, I just remember hearing this all the time, over and over and over again. So I believe that I had this thought. This thought was reinforced. I saw what was going. I back then um, I saw what the environment was. I saw how he reacted to the environment. I took that in. I brought that energy into my life. I created that thought. I had that thought over and over and over again, which reinforced that thought, which created a belief, which created a habit, and that became my default of just when it's, almost use the word again, crappy. When it's darker, when it's cloudy, let's just say, when it's cloudy outside or when it's raining, that's a crappy day. But it's not. It's only because I believe it. If I change how I believe, then I will experience the day in a very different way. That's another example of what we believe we see. So with that, how long have I been on here? About 17 minutes. I wanted to kind of be able to um, teach this in a very manageable, small bite way. And because, like I said, it's very important what we believe we see. And it, like I said, an undisciplined mind is a mind that's not going to get anything. A disciplined mind is not able to create. So it's important to create or to start disciplining your mind. Um, and it and the best way to do something like that, best way to educate is in small little increments, and create small little ideas. And then with these small little ideas, we have these little epiphanies, and we start to think about things differently. Because it's one thing for me to just say, hey, stop believing what you believe now, and your life's going to change. Boom! It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. We are sentient, thought-provoking, thinking, manifesting, creating beings, and um, what we think is what we create, and what we believe is what we create. So if we change our belief system, we can change what we are going to create and our experience in life. So I'm going to teach you today, and I might keep going with this. It's just a little exercise, and I learned this from. I'm actually restudying it. It was sitting in my bookshelf, and every once in a while I look at it. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to get back to that. I really want to get back to that. Every time I look at it, every once in a while, and I decided I'm going to get back to it, so I did. So I reopened up the book, and it's called A Course in Miracles, and it's a very powerful book. You don't necessarily have to read the book or read what's going on or even believe it. But there are a set of lessons, they're described as in the book, and they're designed to retrain the reader in how to think about things and change their lives. And the first step is to learn to, how's it put, kind of retrain the mind in to create a different perception about everything and everything, everyone and everything in the world. And once you train yourself to change that perception, you can create a new perception in there. So the first lesson, what I want you to do is just to sit in a quiet room. You don't have to do it right now because you're listening to me, but later down the line, maybe copy this down, but sit in a quiet room. And it doesn't say to necessarily do this, but what I do is I do this after I meditate or before I meditate. And you don't necessarily have to meditate, but just close your eyes is very helpful. Sit in a quiet room in a comfortable space in an upright posture, because you don't want to be laying down because you might fall asleep. That's happened to me before. And just close your eyes and just kind of relax and take some nice deep breaths in and out. And as you're breathing, just observe your breaths a couple times. You could count them, but just be observant of them. Don't strain or try to focus on them. Just kind of be observant of anything in your body. If you're sitting in a chair, feel your feet on the floor. Feel your bottom on the chair. Feel that support. Just relax for a couple minutes. And then when you're done, just you can open your eyes. And what you're going to do is you're just going to observe. Look around you. And as your eyes light or just see a particular object, when you want to kind of start in close next to you. And as they see a particular object, all you're going to do is you're going to say, nothing I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place means anything to me. That's the idea. So nothing I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place means anything to you. So what you'll do is you'll, observe maybe this pencil's right here, and you just kind of make a mental note or say it out loud that this table means nothing. This pencil means nothing to me. And then you just kind of move your eyes around a little bit, and okay, I see a cup. This cup means nothing to me. And then I'm just kind of looking around, and I'm looking at a light switch. This light switch means nothing to me. And I just do this for a couple minutes. And as I'm looking around, I want to kind of just expand my observation a little bit farther out, a little farther out. Don't focus on anything for too long. Don't target anything. Don't try to label or identify or think about anything. And that's really about it. That's really the first exercise, the first day. And what that will allow you to do is just very slowly change your perception about things and change what you believe. So try that today. Let's see. Some more instructions here are, so you want to make no allowance for differences in any kinds of things to which they are applied. The purpose of the exercise. The statement should merely be applied to anything you see. As you practice the idea for the day, use it totally indiscriminately. Do not attempt to apply it to everything you see, for these exercises should not become realistic. Only be sure that nothing you see is specifically excluded. One thing is like another, and like another, and like another, as far as the application of the idea is concerned. So that's it. Very simple. Try it it's I don't know, it's about 12 noon now, but try it, and you can maybe try it tomorrow or today, but try it twice a day. Um, and that's just today. And tomorrow, I'll come back with another lesson, and it will expand this concept a little bit. And it'll just be really, and I'll give you another exercise to try. And so that's about it. Um, I don't see anybody on here, but for the replay, thanks anybody. If you have any questions, I'm going to put this on YouTube, so like and subscribe. If it's on Facebook, uh, ask me questions. I'd be happy to answer the questions. If you have problems, if you want more clarification on how this works, what you can do, hit me up, and I'd be happy to help you. Okay, you guys have a great day. Oh, I'm going to use this. So my vocal coach slash producer, I love this. She uses what does she say? Oh, shameless plug, shameless plugs. Now we're going to do some shameless plugs. And then what she'll do is, it's hilarious. She'll talk about all her events and things that she's going to be she's either working on or going to be at, either doing piano bar or live events or shows or whatever she's going to be doing. So I'm doing shameless plug for me. And really, the shameless plug is that I am a life coach. I help people change their lives. And the biggest thing I find is that, and I've just struggled with this too, is like you need to know what you want before you can get it. So I teach you to figure out what you want as the first step if you don't know what you want. And then once you really know what you want, I help you go through the steps to get there. So that's my shameless plug for today. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you again